Alright, budget magic time. Playing some Infinite Bant Panharmonicon Mulligan into Oblivion, because we just ain't got no luck in Standard. Oh, man. We'll try this. Thraben Inspector to the bottom. We can't cast it. Lumbering Falls, go. So, I mean, this hand could work out. We could just Servant, draw a land, and Panharmonicon on turn 3, and then our odds of winning are extremely high. On the other hand, we could just be stuck on lands forever. Or also, our opponent could not take their turn. Alright, ship the turn. Needle Spires for our opponent, so this is probably a red aggro deck, not a land. Well, we will play a Servant of the Conduit, and ship the turn. See if we can draw a land next turn. Untap land, preferably. See what our opponent's up to. Plays an island. Oh, this is a Jeskai deck. Okay. Opponent passes. Well, we get a nice tap land. Well, get in with Servant of the Conduit. We cannot do anything else. And pass the turn. There's an Anticipate. So Jeskai Control, Jeskai Saheeli, Jeskai something. What's our opponent have? It's an Ether Hub. And passes. Well, play Pious Evangel. Gain a life. Opponent counters. We pass the turn. Missed our land drop. Tap land for our opponent. Well, let's cast Panharmonicon, see if our opponent has negate. They do not. Alright, so I mean, we're sort of in the game, even though we are very mana screwed. Opponent goes anticipating for a second blue source, I assume. We don't even have energy for our Servant. Eldritch Evolution is a super risky proposition. Well, a little less risky now. There's a Nahiri the Harbinger. Takes it up. Well, let's see what we draw. It's a Plains. Plains is reasonable. So let's attack Nahiri. Down to 4. And then Eldritch Evolution, our Servant. Get a Rogue Refiner. Draw a couple cards, get some energy. Alright, that does give us an untap land for next turn. Also access to Lumbering Falls. Opponent takes up Nahiri. There's an Ether Hub as a second blue source of mana. Opponent passes. Well, let's attack Nahiri. If our opponent fires up Needle Spires and kills Rogue Refiner, we're pretty okay with that. The only scary thing is our opponent's getting close to the point where they could Saheeli Rai 1-2-3, 1-2-3-4, and Felidar Guardian in the same turn, if that's their plan. But let's attack Nahiri. I think we got to take that risk, though. So, play Thraben Inspector, get a couple clues. Fortified Village, untapped, and pass turn. Hope we don't die to the Wombo combo from Jeskai Saheeli. There's a Glimmer. That increases the risk a bit. Our opponent's done a lot of looting, a lot of drawing. Top and top. Oh, God. That's a bad sign. Not sure what else our opponent would leave on top here. Kills our Rogue Refiner. Okay. That's fine. I mean, if our opponent's just trying to play control, then I feel good. Ooh, alright. We'll take that. So let's sack a clue. Get a land. Sack a clue. Get a Felidar Guardian. And a Plains. Well, play the Canopy Vista. Let's attack Nahiri. See what our opponent does. Harnessed Lightning. Well, we are going to play a Cloud Blazer. If our opponent wants to empty half of their energy to counter it, so be it. Oh, it's just a Glimmer. Okay. Well, we are tapped down again, so if the combo is what they're doing, we could be in trouble. Draw a bunch of cards. Walking Ballista is pretty sweet here. We'll discard a Plains and a Servant of the Conduit. Alright, let's see if we keep living, or if this is combo time, if our opponent's even playing the combo. They have 1,000,000 cards in hand. Are they going for it? Is that what's happening? There's Felidar Guardian. Do they have Saheeli Rai? They blink a land. That would give them Saheeli Rai mana, if they have it. Alright, there's the combo. Fair enough. I mean, we had to play stuff. We get to bring in 3 Authority of the Consuls, and maybe a couple negates, possibly another Stasis Snare. Go down Pious Evangel, go down to Wisp Weaver Angel. This matchup would be much better if we could actually just play 4 walking ballistas on our budget. Unfortunately, that's pretty hard to do on our budget. So just do some trimming, run it like that. So we get to play first. This hand is not very exciting, but we'll try it. Play tap lands for a minute or two. Meandering River, go. What's our opponent have? Port Town, tapped. And passes the turn. Well, let's play Sanctum, pass the turn. Not much action in this hand, unfortunately. Spire Bluff Canale for our opponent, and passes. Well, play Fortified Village, reveal the plains, pass the turn. Opponent anticipates. Island for our opponent, and passes. Well, Fortified Village, reveal the plains, play a Servant of the Conduit. At least that's a creature. Probably eat a removal spell of some kind. There's a Harness Lightning for our opponent. Plays a tap land. Well, Thraben Inspector's good. Get a Thraben Inspector. Get a clue. Play Canopy Vista and pass the turn. Another land for our opponent. Alright, let's sack our clue. Rogue Refiner and a Panharmonicon. Well, get in with Thraben Inspector. Opponent takes it. Play plains. Play a Felidar Guardian. There's our opponent's counter. Alright, pass turn. And another Harness Lightning. Well, opponent's down to 4 cards. There's Saheeli Rai. Takes it up. Plays a tap land. And passes. We get a tapped Fortified Village, unfortunately. Well, let's play Rogue Refiner. Draws us a card. Play Fortified Village, tapped. And pass the turn. I think we gotta leave up Stasis Snare here. Did not draw our Authority of the Consuls, unfortunately. Any of them. We do have 4 of them. We just haven't found any of them. Opponent takes up Saheeli Rai. Plays land. And passes. We get a tap land. Well, let's get in at Saheeli. Opponent takes it. And Servant of the Conduit. Get some energy. Sanctum. And pass the turn. Alright, do you have it with counter backup, opponent? They might. That is a glimmer of genius. Both to the bottom. I guess that's a good sign. Takes up Saheeli Rai. Does some scrying. Plays an Ether Hub. And passes. We draw an island. We'll play the island. Attacks Saheeli Rai. There's a Needle Spire. So we are going to Stasis Snare. Opponent negates. Alright, so Saheeli is going to live by the looks. Well, play Panharmonicon. Cash in our Servant. Get a Rogue Refiner. Rogue Refiner. And a Plains. Pass the turn. Well, we're probably just dead. Never mind. Opponent immediately jumped to combat. Takes up Saheeli. We only have 1 good card in hand, though. Lumbering Falls. Well, let's play Rogue Refiner. See if our opponent has more counters. No. Come on, let's actually draw something. Rogue Refiner and Authority of the Consuls would be nice. Would not mind that. Cloud Blazer. Well, let's Rogue Refiner. Oh, gotta tap differently. Let's Rogue Refiner. Draw a couple cards. Canopy Vista. And come on, actual action. Stasis Snare. Play a Plains. And pass the turn. So we do have up a Stasis Snare. Does not win through a counter, but Harness Lightning takes down one of our Rogue Refiners. Only 2 cards in our opponent's hand. There's a glimmer of genius. Bottoms and tops. There's Felidar Guardian. Well, good news, boys and girls, is we have a Stasis Snare. So let's Stasis Snare. Cannot be negated, cannot be dispelled, and our opponent scoops it up. Whoo! We got there, and then we were going to kill Saheeli. Wow! Even without authority of the consoles, we squeaked out a win, and our opponent scoops the match. They can't take it. Oh, Jeskai Saheeli, the rage quit, not liking the loss to Infinite Bet Panharmonicon. Oh, yeah, sweet.